It's time for the Trucker John live stream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The Trucker John live stream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John live stream. Gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well yeah, it's the Trucker John live stream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John live stream is the best thing you've ever seen. It's time for the Trucker John live stream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The Trucker John live stream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John live stream. Be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well yeah, it's the Trucker John live stream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John live stream is the best thing you've ever seen.
Project 2025 would dismantle democracy as we know it.
He says, "You're not going to be a dictator, are you?" I said, "No, no, no, other than day one."
Is a vision of implementing a startlingly authoritarian form of the U.S. government.
Same thing with the unions. They get their little 5%. They get another 2%. They get another 3%, 4%. Then all of a sudden they're making more money than the people that own the company.
Do you do larger cuts, corporate cuts?
Yeah, I was planning on doing it. In fact,
You believe in punishment for abortion, yes or no, as a principle?
there has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form.
What's at stake here is democracy itself. It's now Donald Trump's party. And if he's elected, the consequences will be catastrophic.
such a flagrant, toxic narcissist that he wants to take down the entire democratic system with him if he goes.
And I didn't need little Bruce Springsteen and all of these.
Are you surprised that he's trash talking you after all this time?
Not really.
Yeah.
Anything's possible. The stewardship of the nation has been thrown away to somebody who doesn't have a clue as to what that means.
Bruce Springsteen, we have a much bigger crowd than Bruce Springsteen, right? Much bigger. Hillary got Bruce Springsteen, I'll never forget. And the place was pretty full. Not full like our places are full, and I don't have a guitar.
It was okay. It was so worth it. There is no one you would rather go to a Springsteen concert in Jersey with than him. Than that guy. Brooks.
For me, the transformational piece of music was Bruce Springsteen's The River.
Okay.
Which is a journey. You know all the tracks.
Yeah.
And I'm that guy.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. Trucker John. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. It would help. It would really help if I turn on the mic. The mic. There's. Let me know if you can hear me now. Can you hear me now? I said such great things about you guys. I was saying such great things about you guys. All right, guys. Sorry about that. I was just saying hi to everybody. I was going through the chat. I saw Kimchi was first in the chat. I said hello to Kimchi. I said hi. I said hi to all you guys. Just trust me. Just trust me on this. I said lovely things about you guys. I even said some lovely things about Chad. But thanks everybody for being here. I hate when I do that. You know, it's not that complicated. All you gotta do is make sure the mic is on. Anyhow, I'm trying to finish my breakfast. Maybe I'm distracted. I'm trying to finish breakfast. Anyhow, I was reading your chat. You guys are lovely. Teresa's here, Kimchi, Nick Rich, CN's got to do some work, but I said, well, maybe you could lurk while you work or whatever. I thought that was rather clever. I know I'm not the first one to ever say that. You know, I was saying hello to everybody. I don't want to go through the whole thing again. I don't think Fancy's here. You know, Roxanne, Carrie C, Applet. Hello, everybody. I said everything to you guys already. So sorry about that. Anyhow, it's good to see you guys. Good to see everybody in the chat room here. Mr. Bob Newell's here. I can't hear you. Hopefully you can hear me now. Speak louder. No audio. Okay. I was reading the chat, Nick. I was just you know I'm behind in the chat. I didn't see those chats until I scrolled down to it. Although there is the chat up on my camera, but it's so far away. I mean, I can see it, but I was not paying attention to that chat. I was reading the chat on my iPad. Which is a few minutes behind everything. Mr. Bob Newell just says it's horrible. All right, Robert Perez is here. Chad Boswick says, I bought 680 shares of DJT this morning. My average is $14.92, hoping it goes towards $30 by election day. Fingers crossed. That would be a doubling of your money. Get a smaller microphone. I'm not sure if that's possible, but maybe. Mr. Bob Newell, it's not that I don't understand English. I hadn't scrolled down. I have to scroll down to you guys. You know? That's why if you see my eyes are kind of down all the time. I'm looking at the show on my iPad. You know? And I'm scrolling down through the chat. And Carolina says, do a sound check first. I don't. Well, that's why when I first came on, I did say, and you guys didn't hear me, but I did say, if you guys can't hear me, or if you can hear me, let me know. And then I'm scrolling down, and I didn't. So it took me a few minutes to get to scroll down to where you guys are going. There's no sound. There's no sound. You guys are funny. Kimchi says, I still need an apology for you making fun of my passion for words, and we are getting along so well. Was that to Chad? Was Chad or someone? Because I don't think I was making fun of your thing about words. Keith Polite is here. Keith says, I'm working on getting Lucas Kuntz, who is running against Josh Hawley, on Stephanie Miller next week. He's also been invited to be on panel at Sex Liberal KC. That's awesome, Keith. That's awesome. I would love so much. I mean, I always want Democrats to win. I'm a lifelong Democrat. I've always supported the Democratic Party. I've never voted for a Republican in my life. I say that proudly. So just based on that, of course, if I lived in Missouri or whatever, I'd be voting for Lucas if I was in his district or whatever. But this one's a little special. I would just love to see Josh Hawley get beat. That guy is such a fucking front-running, phony piece of shit motherfucker, right? Josh Hawley, you're so full of shit. If we can see people like any of those assholes like Hawley, MTG, Boebert, Matt Gaetz, over in the Senate with Ted Cruz, any of those pieces of shit, if they can get beat, that it's just an extra, there's this extra pleasure in that, and they need to go. They not only is it just, extra special, but I mean, they all need to go anyhow. So yeah, vote for Lucas Kuntz over there in Missouri. Let's get rid of Josh Hawley. Kim Shee says, Chad, that is for John. I was lurking but heard him. Got to mess with the man. Hey, there's Jolie. Says, did we start the stream with no audio today? No, everything was fine. It was all fine, Jolie. I'm committing a couple cardinal sins. I started the show with no audio, like an idiot. And I'm also stuffing my pie hole, which I know is not enjoyable. If you're watching, if you're just listening, it might not be too bad. But if you're watching this stream, I'm sure that's not real enjoyable. Delta Don's there. And Delta Don, I just gotta say, nice ink. I don't have any tattoos myself. I don't have not a one. I just don't think I can pull it off, really, basically. There's just some people that they can pull off tattoos and it looks cool. And I think, judging by your profile pic, I think you're one of those people. You can pull off a tattoo, or two, or three, or it looks like you got a lot. There's just some people they can just do that shit. And it looks cool. If I did it, I don't think it would look so cool. Nick Rich does not want to talk about dogs or cats. Dogs and cats living together. Total mayhem. Andrew Petrie, I just watched a Trump thing in New York. He's losing it. By the day, right? By the day, he just gets, I think, gets worse and worse. Worse and worse and worse. And the mainstream media, what do? They're like sane watching him, right? Brandon Woods says, "Don't get me started on Josh Hawley." Hey, Brandon Woods, thanks for being here, by the way. Bob Newell adds that Rick Scott's a douche, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. Kimchi says, "Yes, you made fun of me for going in depth into the etymology of the word. I get it. My eloquence and verbosity is a threat." Well, to tell the truth, I don't remember, but I don't. And if I did, and if I offended you, I apologize. But yeah, maybe it's just vocabulary envy or something. I don't know. Brandon Woods, I will catch bans if I say my opinion, laughing out loud. Okay, let's hear from the other side a little bit. Chad Bostic says, "I support Hawley's legislative push to ban stock trading by Congress. Those fuckers have too much access to information." Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that probably has bipartisan support. I'm pretty sure he could get bipartisan support with AOC on that. And thanks for bringing that up. Okay, there's one thing that maybe I might be in agreement with him, but I'm sure Lucas Kuntz would be in agreement with that too, along with a lot of other things that Josh Hawley is not in agreement about, like a woman's ability to make her own reproductive choices. Things of this nature. Delta Dawn says, last night on Fox, Trump said the audience at his debate, after the debate, was going crazy cheering him on. No one said a word. Think about that. Yeah. There was no audience. It's like that cartoon that I talked about, that I see on Randy Rhoads, where he's in the psychiatrist's office. And the psychiatrist says, "Are these large crowds in the room with us now?" The man is bananas. And we know it. So, that should be a deal killer right there. I call Hawley little twinkle toes. The way he's skadoodled. Hey, Chad Bostic, $10. Vote blue no matter who. Are you going to live up to that? Or I know you're just being snarky, but I'll take your $10. And nevertheless, no, thank you. Thanks, Chad, for supporting the show while I eat my breakfast. I do appreciate it. That's a great way to support the show. You guys can also like, subscribe, and share. Sharing is a good way. Those are free things. Or you can do like chat, and you got that super chat. Always do appreciate that. I'll give that a heart. Thank you so much. Choker John has too many love handles, no tats. Plenty of love handles, yeah. And like I said, some people can carry off a tattoo, and some people can't. But carry off, I mean, they look good with them. And some people, same way with love handles. Some people can carry those, pretty well, and some can't. And I can carry a love handle pretty well. My love handles are pretty sexy, if I do say so myself. Applets is taking a red eye to kimchi. Okay, what? Kimchi said, "I had 36 seedlings, but the squirrels ate everything. But one pepper, one squash, one eggplant. Hate those fuckers. You need to get a little tiny scarecrow. It's that squirrel level or something. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. Gino Maynard has been a member for 4 months. Says I'll change my language when MAGA behavior changes. Gino, you don't have to change your language. Chad Bostic says but thanks for being a member, by the way. Chad Bostic says the Dems voted against the stock trading legislative Hawley proposal. Well, there's probably some sort of poison pills hidden in there. I don't know. Before I say, oh damn it, they should support that. I would have to read the legislation, or at least get some sort of explanation of what it all entails. There's a good chance, since it's a Republican, there's probably some fucking shit in there that's really stupid. I'm pretty sure AOC has probably something that she would like to put forward if the Democrats were in the majority. That would probably address stock trading by legislators. That would probably be much better. I bet you, I'm just going to go on a limb right here now and say I bet you something that was backed by AOC or that was written by AOC or whatever. It would probably be infinitely better than anything that Josh Hawley would put out. And that's with I haven't read anything. I don't know, but that's just my gut. That's my gut feeling. Mr. Bob Newell, why do people like Trump? That's a very good question. Why do they like Trump? They think that he's some sort of kick-ass dude. This is what I think, because I've seen this in my car. I'm an Uber driver, for those of you that don't know. And sometimes I get people who, they might talk a little bit of politics, or they might, usually when we drive by the Trump hotel, they'll go, oh, Trump, and they get all excited and everything. And so some of the comments that I've heard, it's just like, yeah, Trump is going to kick ass. He's kick ass. He doesn't take shit. They just think he's like this big fucking John Wayne or something. I don't know. They think he's this can do, takes no guff from anybody. It's just that somehow they got this image of him. And it's funny, when I think of him, I just think of him as being this fucking diaper wearing, shitbag that can't get through a sentence without sounding like a fucking crazy person. It's kind of weird how opposite the image is of Trump. Between like people like me and people like them. Like Chad here says, honestly, I still lean Trump, but I don't want Trump or Harris, to be honest. So I don't even know why you would lean Trump. I mean, Trump is a incompetent. Okay, taking the fucking dirty diaper shit out of it. Okay, that's a health issue, whatever. And we make fun of him. And the reason we make fun of him, it's not because, we're heartless, and it's because he deserves it. It's because he has the unmitigated gall to make fun of everybody else as though he is perfect. Okay, so that's why we make fun of his diapers, we make fun of his hair, we make fun of whatever, because he does it. So we're just trying to throw that shit back in his face. But even without all that, I mean, Trump was just, he had his 4 years. He won, he beat Hillary. He had his time, and he didn't really do shit. And in fact, everything he did do, he mishandled. So we know what an incompetent fucking boob he is. And we know that really all he would rather do is golf. He golfed in those 4 years more than any president, I think, combined, or whatever it is. I mean, he totally mishandled COVID. He totally mishandled everything. He didn't get anything done except he got some nice tax cuts for the rich people. and he stripped away some regulations, some business regulations and environmental regulations for those business people. That's really all he did, and that really wasn't anything good for most of America. It may have helped the top 0.1% of America, and it resulted in a net loss of jobs. 1 million people dead from COVID, all this kind of stuff. He left office with the economy in shambles. The man was incompetent. He does not know how to govern. And we've already seen that. So why would anyone want to give him another chance? He had Congress. He had the majorities in Congress. And he still didn't do shit. So, I don't know. People just see what they want to see, I guess. People live in these bubbles. Fox News bubbles, right-wing media bubbles. I don't know. Del Francisco's here. Hey, Del, good to see you. Says good morning, Chucker John, and all the others in this biatch. Kim Chi says, Chad, you aren't stupid or uneducated. Are you racist or greedy? Or both? I added the or both. Yeah, which is it, Chad? Racist or greedy? Kim Chi calling you out. Hey, Stephanie B2 is here. Nice to see Stephanie. Hope you're feeling okay today. I know you're going through a lot of issues, so hope you're doing okay today and on forward, I guess. Dr. Don says you look great, TJ. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. With my sexy love handles. Could you just imagine that? Looking at this, I don't know. Anyhow, okay, I'm scrolling down, guys. I know I'm really behind in the chat, so I'm scrolling on down. I'm scrolling. Carol Lana says grew so many peppers. They're coming out of everywhere. Pickled peppers, use fresh daily, freezing. I was waiting for like a list. Pickled peppers, stuffed peppers, green peppers, peppers. I don't know. Going to make jalapeno poppers with Monterey Jack and bacon, then freeze for later. Wish I could share. It sounds good. Yeah, I wish you could share that too, because that sounds pretty good. And I'm not even really all that into peppers, but if you make a nice stuffed pepper with some bacon and some Monterey Jack, sounds pretty delish. Pretty delish to me. Mr. Bob Newell, don't buy pages made in Israel. Or actually, they weren't made in Israel, but they set up this company. I guess they were made in fucking Hungary or something. But that was pretty brilliant. Pretty brilliant thing. I guess I was lurking. Was it lurking? With Liberal Dan? I don't think I even went in there, but I was lurking because I was going to work or whatever. But he was talking about that last night, about the pagers and everything. And I was just thinking, God, where are they going to get their pagers now? Radio Shack, I don't think is around anymore. So, boy, they're going to be. What are they going to go to next? Just homing pigeons or something? I mean, smoke signals? I don't know. But they will be hesitant from this time forward on any type of electronic device that they buy. William says Trump is actually a weak, pathetic man. Exactly. That's my point. I mean, or I don't know if it was a point, but how different people perceive him. The people who like him and I would say these are probably definitely just sort of like casual political observers, or maybe not even observing politics at all, but they know who Donald Trump. They know the name, and they have this perception of him being this strong, macho, tough New York businessman or something. That's their image of him. When the truth is more like what William said. He's weak and pathetic, and he's a coward, and he's a bully, and all that shit, Kimchi says, I don't understand why anyone would vote for someone who is functionally illiterate, terminally stupid, demented, senile, and evil. Because they don't see that. They really see this macho, tough New York businessman, doesn't take anyone's guff, and he gets things done. That's what they think. They think he's just this mover and shaker, or whatever. But I think more and more people are getting it. I think, I mean, of course, most of us on the left, we see that. But I think more and more people are from the right are seeing it. I think, obviously, what was I just reading? And we've heard about all the sort of these Republican defections. And the list keeps growing and growing and growing of Republicans that are not only not voting for Trump, but they've actually pledged their support of Kamala Harris. Hopefully that will translate into, the election. And I think it will. Like I've said, Biden beat Trump by almost 8 million votes. I think Kamala Harris could double that margin. So we'll see, though. What are we about? What are we, like 45 days away or something? How many days away? It's coming up on us, man. So make sure you're registered, vote.org or whatever. We're getting down to the point where it's almost, it might be not yet. I think we still have some time, but it might be too late if you're not registered. So make sure you're registered and check that all the time. Chad says, no kimchi, that's why I don't want either. So, Chad, you prefer obvious lies from a narcissist. Kimchi says, the only people I knew who had pagers were drug dealers back in the 90s. I think I had one because everybody was getting them. It wasn't just drug dealers. I remember for a time that was like the cool thing to have. And I remember the big thing, like you could spell things with numbers like shit or hell or something. And it was like, look at this, look at this, And I think I finally got one. And just when I got one, then it seemed like maybe cell phones started coming into play or something. I don't know. And I remember I had one, but really never hardly used it. Because I wasn't a drug dealer or anything. So, but I think I barely even used it or got any messages or whatever. It was kind of weird. But yeah, it is probably something more for drug dealers, I guess, or whatever, or pimps. Mr. Bob Newell says Trump played golf 428 days during his presidency, 1/3 of the time. So, he had his chance. Now it's time for him to go away to prison, basically. Trump for prison, 20 to 24 years. I've seen that meme. I think I've even posted that meme right here on this channel. Mr. Spock, live long and prosper over there. You and your chickens and animals. Mr. Spock says they should have known something was up. Who uses a phone called Samsung? The reception would be explosively crappy. That's a good one, Mr. Spock. That's a good one. Keith Police says Don Jr. and Kimberly G have apparently split. Hey, Jet, she's back on the market. Watch your wallet. Yeah. And if you like crabs, just saying. Andrew Petrie says a little secret. It's day 50. No beer. I bought a 6-pack to celebrate the occasion. Wait a minute. It's day 50. No beer. That's funny. I think that's funny. I think it was a joke. Mr. Bob Newell says Trump says that Jews, blacks, and racists are polluting America's blood. I guess he ought to know firsthand about that one, about the racist part, because that's what he is. See there. See you there. Fancy, laughing out loud, sexy love handles, and that groovy long hair. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Noticing my groovy hair. Kimchi says 400 years of presidential salary to pay his Social Security, Secret Service, to watch him golf. He is a shit stain on an amoeba's ass. Yeah, but in a lot of these maggots' eyes, he can do no wrong. You know, he can do no wrong. Robert Perez says Trucker John looks like James Dean after the car accident. Thank you, Robert. That's very nice of you. That was lovely thing to say. Let's see, because now I'm thinking about the car wreck and how I'm sure he was really fucked up. Mr. Bob Newell, what's your opinion of Lady Lindsey Graham? I have really no opinion other than the fact that I really don't care about his sexual orientation, and I think my criticisms of him is that he is such a fucking lickspittle. He's a lickspittle. Isn't that the word? He's a lickspittle, I think. Andrew Petrie, come on, folks. Show John needs a fancy neon sign behind him. That would be nice, yeah. Hey, Tim Farrell's here. Good to see Tim, one of our resident Tims. Says, hi, gang. Who's the clown with the Dodger hat? Man, you guys are just coming at me hard. Kimchi says, Mossad is extraordinarily good at killing. Oh, yeah. Good old Mossad. Applets, Mr. Bob Newell, they are good, but thanks to Deer, I'll have to buy mine now. I guess it was something you were growing. I think I missed it. Mr. Bob Newell, I think this is the second time you asked, are you a Teamster? No, I'm not a Teamster. Okay, I don't know. What I know the Teamsters, they're I guess the president of the Teamsters, the national president. I guess he endorsed Trump, and I think he's a fucking piece of shit for doing that. Because Trump we know he's anti-union, so I don't know why any union would endorse him. I know that I think there are a lot of Teamsters, that are upset about that endorsement. Chad Bostic says, I would call the Republicans that switched to Harris neocons more than anything. You can call them whatever you want. I think that whatever they are, they value democracy. They value the Constitution more than they would be accepting of a man who, if he gets back in power, is going to do everything that he can to destroy democracy and destroy the Constitution, tear it up into little pieces, and make himself a dictator. So, there's that. Gino Maynard says, pager attack seems too indiscriminate for a Western country to justify, or is collateral damage acceptable now? I think collateral damage has always been acceptable. We've always tried to keep it, at least from Americans' point of view, we've always tried, I think we've tried, except for, and it's with the exception of probably Trump, or even Bush, for that matter, collateral damage, especially when we talk about drone attacks. Under George W. Bush, it was like in Iraq and Afghanistan, I guess, they were using drones a lot, and they were killing thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of innocent bystanders to take out, some I guess, Taliban or whoever, and whomever, and that was bad. I mean, the way, see, that's why there's ways of doing things that are less harmful. As soon as Obama got in there, we still used drones. We still were using drones to bomb Taliban leaders or whatever, but it was done in a way where the amount of collateral damage, I don't know the exact number, but I bet you it dropped by like 90%. It went from being tens of thousands of people, the collateral damage to, probably a few thousand. And I know these are numbers, and these numbers are actually real people. They're not just numbers. They're real people. But what I'm trying to say is there is a difference the way you do things. And this thing with the pagers, maybe I don't know if it's indiscriminate. I think that they were marketing this pagers to Hezbollah members, and these were terrorists. And if you're a terrorist, or you maybe shouldn't hang out or hang around the terrorists or whatever, or if you're a terrorist and you're worried about other people being killed, then maybe you shouldn't be a terrorist. I don't know. I'm putting this on the terrorist. I'm blaming the terrorist. If there was collateral damage, I'm going to blame the terrorist on this one. How about not be a terrorist, and you wouldn't have to worry about, I guess, your kids getting killed or something. Maybe that sounds incredibly cold-blooded of me, and maybe short-sighted. I don't know, but terrorists, these terrorists anyhow, these Hezbollah and even Hamas or whatever, they sure don't seem to give a fuck about who they kill. So how about stop being terrorists? MJ Daniel had a pager working for the city briefly, early 90s, but that is it. Yeah, they were popular for quite a while there. MJ Daniel says DJT and Vance are mentally and emotionally unqualified and dangerous to all decent Americans. Yeah, and don't even get me started on JD Vance. I mean, can you imagine him being a heartbeat away? And you know what? That's probably one of the things that went against McCain when he picked Sarah Palin. There was a lot of people saying the same thing, that she was a horrible pick, and they didn't want her being a heartbeat away. And I think a lot of people are saying that about Vance too. So that could be another a big deterrent to voting for Trump for people. Chad Bostic says lighting up a joint if there are any fellow smokers in there, join the festivities. Okay, so Chad's about to get high, and when Chad is high, he's actually kind of reasonable. He actually, starts getting on board with our policies. Maybe Chad should be high more often. I don't know. Be high on voting day or something of this nature. I don't know. William Trump is a scab. Yeah, that's what the UAW were chanting at the DNC. Remember? Roxanne says the Teamsters are not endorsing anyone. Chugger John. Wasn't the Teamsters president? Who was the president? What president was he a union of that endorsed? Maybe it wasn't an official endorsement. Maybe that was just his own personal endorsement. I don't know. Was it Sean Fain or something? No, I always get the UAW because I think they both have Sean in their as the first names. I always get those mixed up. The UAW did endorse Harris, and the Teamsters. I thought their president was all in with Trump. Kimchi says, Roxanne, individual groups of Teamsters are backing Kamala. Yeah, individual chapters. They have, you have your locals, right? I was in a local in the APWU, and so probably some of the locals are probably endorsing Kamala. They're saying "fuck you" to their president, who I hope gets voted out on their next election. Andrew Petrie, the Teamsters bought my Christmas present in the 70s and 80s. Do you mean bought or brought? As in delivered, as in hauled. Chad is really excited about Melania's nude photos, apparently. Carolina, I read a Western branch of Teamsters did endorse Kamala. Yeah, there's been several that I've heard of. And but the head, I thought, did something. Kimchi says the AFL-CIO bought this house for my FIL. I don't know what that. I don't even know what that means. And I didn't know unions could buy houses or whatever. I mean, I don't understand what's going on here. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Chad Boss says, I agree with you, John, on the Hezbollah terrorists not caring. So who cares if their family was accidentally hit as well? Look, it's not that I don't care, but what I'm saying is they're bringing this shit on themselves. If you're going to be terrorizing, you're going to be a terrorist terrorizer. You bring this shit on yourself. I'm not saying if there were kids killed or injured, in this, what we call collateral damage. It's not that I don't care. I do care. I think that's awful. But what I'm saying is, blame the terrorists. It's their fucking fault for being terrorists. They're the ones who do it. Don't blame me, or don't blame whatever law enforcement or whoever's doing is trying to take out the terrorists. Maybe the terrorists should not be terrorists. Hey, Jupiter Judy. Good to see Jupiter Judy. Good to see you back in the old chat room here. A good day to you. Carol Lana says, bingo, Trucker John on terrorist collateral damage. Tough shit. Well, it's not, like I said, I don't want to come off as being this heartless, cold person. I don't care about kids being killed or innocent bystanders being killed. I do care about it. But I do think there's a way you can do it where you're not carpet bombing a place like Netanyahu was, and like George W. Bush was doing, just carpet bombing the shit out of fucking Iraq or whatever. I don't think you need to do that, at least in most cases. There are ways where you can really limit the number of collateral damage, and I think there should be that should be taken into consideration, and that great care should be put into that. But what I'm just saying, but at the end of the day, I think you got to blame the terrorists. Because if they weren't terrorizing, then there would be no reason to go after them. They bring this shit on themselves. MJ Daniel says, imagine being married to an Indian woman and allowing the Curry comments to pass without comment. Oh, about, was that Laura Loomer? Or who was it that said that? About if Kamala Harris will be Curry or whatever. Smell like curry or something, or I forget who that was. And it may have been mentioned in the chat, but I am kind of skipping down because I know I'm 20 minutes behind in the chat. Jupiter Judy just cleaned her bong. Good for you. A clean bong is a happy bong or something. Carolina says, DJT stock speculator is a fool and his money is soon parted. Nick Rich says, DJT, the stock, like his life, is spiraling down the toilets. Fancy says, okay, give Trucker John, lots of money. Hey, okay. I don't know where that came from or what that's about. I'm not going to comment on that. Mr. Bob Newell, my HOA supports Kamala. All right. You have a nice HOA, apparently. Andrew Petrie, fancy, my sparrows are here, my free pets. Kim Chi says, Chad, his stock has only gone down this year. You must be shorting the stock. No way you made money. Chad says, that's why I'm hoping I bought the bottom of his current dump. Nick, last night I bought in at $20 a share and sold at $49 a share. Yeah, you're just playing those dips and everything, right? Mr. Bob Bill, did you eat a cookie for breakfast? No, I had a Jack in the Box breakfast burrito. And I know what you're trying to do. But it may be just not time yet. It may not be time. All right. Delta Don says America has killed hundreds of thousands of innocent people around the world. Kissinger. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, and Kissinger's a Republican. I think one of my points is I think there's a difference. There's definitely a difference of the way things are handled under Republicans and Democrats. Chad Bostic, another $10, lots of money. Thank you, Chad. Thanks for supporting the show. I do appreciate you showing some support there. Maybe that's a stock dividend or something. That I'm getting the dividends there, the stock thing there. Hey, I think I'm only like a minute behind in the chat because I saw Nick Rich said 10. It's 10:01 right now. So hey, look at there. Bob Newell says hate will not make us great again. And I think that that's the thing about this whole campaign. People are really, really, I think, latching onto, if that's a good term or not, but really, identifying with the Kamala Harris campaign of joy. Remember, joy was a big word for a while. Of joy and hope and a positive future. And I think people are just tired of hearing Trump's doom and gloom all the time with the doom and the gloom. Motherfucker. We're tired of it. We're tired of hearing your fucking bullshit about how America is in decline and it's awful and everyone's getting murdered and the cities are all been burned to the ground. Number one, all of that is a bunch of bullshit. And number two, we're sick and tired of hearing that shit. And we see Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, and they're enthusiastic and they're smiling and they look genuinely happy, and they're bringing this really the culture of joy. And I think so many people are identifying with that, and really, that's a big part of this campaign. Diane Capobianco is here. Hello, good to see you, Diane. Thanks for joining us in the Driver's Lounge. Good to see you. We got Chad Bostic gifting some memberships. Thank you so much, Chad. 5 memberships. Robert Perez got one. Carolina, Jupiter Judy got one. Diane got one. Del Francisco got one. So thank you so much, Chad. Thanks for giving some memberships out. That's very nice of you. I do appreciate it. Chad says, don't thank me, thank the DJT stock. I guess I will thank, and I will thank the DJT stock by saying, vote for Kamala Harris. and vote blue for all the things that are dear to you, and vote blue all up and down the ticket. Let's not only get Kamala Harris in the White House, let's get the House back, let's keep the Senate, let's get things rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Okay, Chad Bostwick keeps saying he doesn't like either candidate. Well, Chad, you only have two choices. You only have two choices. Because there's only going to be one of two people that will be president. It's either going to be Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. No others. No one else. Not RFK Jr., not Marianne Williams, not fucking Ted Bundy or whatever. I don't know. It's either going to be Trump or Harris. That's it. Those are the only two people that are going to be, at the end of the day, after we count the votes on November 5th, it's going to be one of those two. That's it. And if you're trying to put Kamala Harris on an equal plane of as far as like, I don't know, being bad or whatever, then I suggest you need to get better weed or something. You need to up your weed intake, because there's something wrong if you think that they are like equally bad or whatever, because they're not. So you got to choose. In your case, I think you got to choose the lesser of two evils. And if you think that Donald Trump is the lesser of two evils, like I said, you need to up your pot intake or something, or get better pot, or maybe not. Maybe you're smoking too much pot. I don't know. There's something wrong there. If you think they're both equally bad for the country, then there's something seriously wrong. Something seriously wrong with you, even though you are a contributor to the show. Thank you very much. Chad Bostwick, John, I know about two choices. That's why I'm undecided. I don't really see one as better or worse. Okay, look. Here's Donald Trump. He plays golf all the time. If there's a national emergency, he doesn't know what to fucking do. He's a complete nincompoop. Okay? He doesn't want to do anything. And all he wants to do is stoke hate and fear and prejudice and racism, because he thinks that gets him popularity with his base, I guess, apparently. That's all he wants to do. With Kamala Harris, you have a leader who I would trust to lead us through some national catastrophe, or whether it's a pandemic or a natural disaster. That would feel much, much better in her hands. And she's been she's been in leadership positions as far as being a California State Attorney General, for a huge state. She's been a U.S. Senator. She's been a Vice President. I mean, she has the bona fides. Donald Trump hasn't got shit. He was president, but he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. Or if he did know what he was doing, he with COVID, he told Bob Woodward that he was intentionally mishandling it. Why would you do that? Why would you intentionally mishandle a fucking deadly airborne disease? So they're not even close. They're not close. It's not even close to being the same. Original Mike H is here. I just saw that. It's not even close, man. I don't know what you're undecided about. What is it that you're so worried about about Kamala Harris? Are you afraid that she's going to sign like Roe v. Wade into law or something like that? If some legislation came up where they could actually get abortion rights into law or something, they could codify it, right? Codify. Is that what you're worried about? And if so, why the fuck do you give a fuck about abortion? You're not going to get one. Are you afraid she's going to crash the stock market? You seem to like the stock market. Now, if the Biden-Harris administration is any indicator of that, I mean, the stock market has more than doubled since they took office. So I don't know. I'm not sure what your concerns about Kamala Harris are. If you have concerns about Trump, I understand it, because we saw what a abject failure Donald Trump is as president. We already have 4 years of his history of just miserable failure. So I don't even see why it's close, other than the fact that you just like to be a contrarian, or you just think it's, it's funny or whatever. I'm not really sure. Andrew Petrie says, Truckers Around, wait till you see the New York rally. It's really fucked up. Yeah, I wonder if Hal will be playing that. Probably will be. Chad Bosick says, my fear of Kamala, John, is that she seems to be full of shit 95% of the time. Okay, so basically you're saying that she's a liar. 95% you might as well say all the time. What the fuck has Kamala Harris lied about? And if you're so concerned with lying, you do know that your boy there, almost everything that comes out of his fucking pie hole is a lie. And he's got, 35,000 documented instances of lying when he was president or something like that, or 50,000, whatever it is. So it didn't, I don't know if lying was an issue for you with Trump. And now you have Kamala Harris, who, if you're going to put a side-by-side chart of lies, okay, here's Trump over here, and here's Harris over here. I mean, and I would say, and I mean this, there is a difference between misspeaking and lying. Lying is intentional, and Donald Trump intentionally lies every fucking time he opens his mouth. Someone can misspeak, someone can make an error, someone can make a mistake. To me, that's not the same as lying. And maybe Kamala Harris has done that a few times. Maybe she misspoke. Maybe she said something that was wrong. It was a mistake. And usually, and if someone makes a mistake, they'll say, oh yeah, I messed up. So I don't know specifically what you're talking about with Harris. You're talking about her lying 95% of the time, being full of shit. But that's just a ridiculous statement. That's utterly fucking ridiculous for you to say that she is full of shit 95% of the time. Utterly ridiculous. They're not the same. Chad says, yeah, Trump is full of shit most of the time. They're not. It's a false equivalency, Chad. It's a fucking false equivalency. They're not even close. It's not even close. Mike H., if you don't think that Donald Trump is a liar, if you don't think that he's a fucking liar through and through, then I know that you are a fucking fraud, phony Joel. You're just a fucking, your name is Joel, your name is not Mike, so go fuck yourself. Mike H., your stupid name. You think you're so funny, you think you're so clever, you're not. You're a dipshit. And if you think that Trump is an honest man, then fuck you. Donald Trump is the antithesis of honesty. Carol Lana says, Trump is a pathological serial liar. What's with the double standards and false equivalence? Intellectually dishonest, those who engage in such utter bull. Absolutely, Carol. I could not have said that better myself. Diane says, Diane Capiano says, I am wearing my shirt that has a high heel with the flag on it, smashing an orange. Gonna wear it out today doing errands. Yeah, go try that one out. That sounds like a cool shirt. Let everybody know that you're not for that orange turd. But just be careful, too. There's crazy people out there. Delta Dawn says, Chad, last night Trump said on Fox that the audience was cheering for him at the debate. Yeah, the audience that didn't exist. Roxanne said, Fancy Hal doesn't have a show until this afternoon, 1 hour later. Yeah, it'll be today at 4 p.m. Pacific time. That's why we're going to do, as we do, a 3 p.m. show today, by the way. We'll be on at 3 p.m. doing a little warm-up, a little pre-show warm-up if you guys are interested. Hopefully the mic will be on for that one. Jupiter Judy Chad, I'm cynical as hell. I look at policy, not the person. Unless you have a uterus, you have no right telling a woman what to do with her body. Do you want me to say you should have a vasectomy? Right. Kimchi says, Mike, why are you afraid of statistics? Will evidence hurt your fragile Dunning-Kruger fifis? I don't know what that means, Kim. Carolina, Jupiter Judy standing ovation. Right on. Chad Bostic says, the people will vote to uphold abortion in the states. The point of that was to send the vote to the people. It's in the people already. God damn, you're so stupid. And in every vote in the states, the support. Why don't we take the vote back? Why don't we bring slavery back to the states, you stupid dipshit? Why should the rights be different in one state than in another state? Why should I step over a state line and go, oh, all of a sudden my fucking rights are gone? You fucking moron. There are civil rights and certain rights that should be fucking universal. And a woman's right to choose is one of them. That's not something that you go from some fucking back-assward state like wherever you're at, and now all of a sudden you lose that right. You stupid moron. That's not how it fucking works. You don't have slavery in one state and not in another. That's why we had a fucking civil war over it, you goddamn idiot. So fuck you. Stupid moron. That's the kind of shit that pisses me off. Bringing it back to the states. Fuck you and the state bullshit. The fucking federal right. It covers all 50 states. Fucking moron piece of shit. I hate people who buy into that states' rights bullshit argument. It's bullshit. Chad Bostic. Listen, I'm not against abortion. I was just saying the reasoning behind the Supreme Court ruling that they did it. Fuck you, Chad, and your little fucking. I'm sure you have a little pussy voice too. I was just saying. This is how you talk. I'm sure this is how you sound. I was just saying the reason the Supreme Court. Fuck you and fuck the Supreme Court. The John Roberts Court is a fucking travesty, and I hope John Roberts goes down in history for being the fucking shill, corporate shill that he is. You goddamn right I'm triggered. This bullshit. This should be back. You're fucking parroting fucking Donald Trump. You stupid motherfucker. I'm talking to Chad, not to anybody else. When I say stupid motherfucker. Rob4419 says, hi TJ and everyone. Failures like Trump project their own inadequacies on others all the time. Gina Maynard, Chad vomits his privilege all over the chat. Jupiter Judy, Chad, they had no right to change something that had been in effect for 50 years and saved hundreds of thousands of lives. Now women are bleeding out, dying without any medical service. Are you happy about that, Chad? Are you happy about the women who are dying in the parking lot because they can't be treated? Because of these stupid fucking states' fucking rights bullshit, motherfucker? Are you happy about that? Go fuck yourself, Chad. You and all you fucking right-wing idiot maggots can go fuck yourselves. Jupiter Judy says, Chad, these women are not even allowed to come into some hospitals. They tell them to sit in their car in the parking lot until they're so sick they're basically fucking die. I hope you're happy about that, Chad. Chad, fuck you. I haven't said if I support the ruling or not. You're the one that said that you were glad I went down to the state. So fuck off. Jupiter Judy says, not all women have abortions, but it is the same procedure used to help you get out the placenta so that you don't go into sepsis and die. Men don't know this. There's a lot of shit we don't know. And we do kind of know it if we're fathers. I mean, I'm not trying to divide people who aren't fathers and not fathers, but I mean, I was in the delivery room with both of my kids were born. And talk about learning experience. I learned a lot during those things, during going through the pregnancies and stuff. You learn a lot. You learn a lot about, prenatal care. And you learn a lot about certain risks, that you just kind of never even thought about as being like being a single person without having kids, and then going from that and it being a father and being and going through the pregnancies with my my baby mama. You learn all that stuff. I mean, you learn a lot of it. I still don't know a lot of shit, but you know that it's not so easy peasy, and there's a lot of risks involved, and now we're seeing it now with women dying in parking lots because of this overturning of Roe that Donald Trump is so proud of. He said he was proud of it and happy to do it and all that kind of shit. It's disgusting, and the SCOTUSes that got on, Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett and Gorsuch, they fucking lied. They all fucking lied because that was one of the questions that's always brought up about Roe v. Wade. They all said that is fucking that's law of the land. We're not going to do anything to overturn it. What they do, they fucking overturned it. They fucking lied. Talk about lying. That's a lie. Delta Dawn says, TJ, you sound exactly like me every goddamn night listening to Fox News on the next room, for real, no joke. I know, so I can't listen to that shit. Tim Farrell, thanks for stopping by, Chad. Did Chad Lee? Oh no, Chad's still there. Raw 4419. I cried hearing these stories, and we won't know how many for years. Yeah, I hope the fucking Chad Bosticks of the world are so fucking happy, so fucking proud of themselves that they can get women that leave behind other children, like this one that died. She had a 6-year-old child at home, and she died. I hope you're really proud of that, Chad. Jolie says, I'm loving this. Chad and I have butted heads over abortion before. Diane Capellano, the mother that died in Georgia, had left a 6-year-old child behind. See there? And will not have a mom now. I hope you're happy, Chad. I hope you're fucking happy. And now Chad's going to lay on some stuff that it's going to show what a hypocrite he is. Because he says, my wife had eclampsia with our daughter. I fully understand the risks of pregnancy. I think they should have left Roe alone, but they didn't. I just said that they explained as their reasoning. Why do you need to give them any fucking excuses, Chad? Why do you have to stand up for them or give them any kind of leeway at all? You should be fucking angry. You should be as angry as I am. And honestly, that's why we have dipshits like Donald Trump getting elected. It's because of people like Chad who are like, oh, I was just saying this, and I, fuck you. I'm just scrolling down here. Jupiter Judy says, Chad, do you know why they didn't leave Roe alone? Because it's part of Project 2025. They don't want black or brown people in this country to do the labor in the field. I mean, they want kids to do the work. Oh, And even before Project 2025, I mean, the Heritage Foundation and all these people, the ones that have been picking the SCOTUS choices, what are they called? All those fuckers. They've been working since Roe v. Wade became the law of the land. They've been working to get rid of it. It's been a 50-year process, and it finally came to fruition for them. They've been working on this, and they never gave up, and now it's happening. And it's horrible that we're gonna see a whole bunch of dead women in the interim, because I think we're gonna get it back. I think we're gonna get abortion rights reestablished in this country. We will do it. But in the interim, how many women are going to have to die unnecessarily because of this? Unnecessarily, Chad. Women that otherwise would have lived probably long, healthy, productive lives, would have raised their children, but they're not going to do that now because of this. And because of you just, they're both liars. I don't know. I'm undecided. Bullshit. And I was, like I said, I said in some other chat, I think it's going to take some very brave doctors at some point, and medical professionals, nurses, whatever. They're going to have to just say, fuck this, not on my watch. And they're going to have to just take the chance of being arrested, thrown in jail, especially if you're in Texas and back-assward states like that. But there's going to have to be some, I think there's going to have to be some doctors and some nurses. They're going to just have to say, fuck it. And eventually, when they start locking up all the doctors and nurses, and they don't have any doctors and nurses left, then hopefully, Greg Abbott will wreck his wheelchair and need medical help, and there won't be any doctors to give any medical help. And I would just say, well, you fucking brought that on yourself, didn't you, Greg Abbott, you fucking piece of shit? Just think, okay, you guys say I'm triggered. Chad triggered me. I'm just some old dude. I'm a male. I have nothing to do with abortions, right? Or whatever. And that fucking triggered me. Just think, and there's a lot of women in this chat, you guys know, just think about Rovember and how important and how big that's going to be in November. Rovember. I'm just realizing that. This issue pisses me off so much. I can only imagine how pissed off you women are. I can only imagine how pissed off you are. And I'm pissed off. So I can only imagine how pissed off you are. And that's going to be huge, Chad. That is going to be fucking huge in November. And we're going to see, I think, Democrats outperforming in all up and down the ballot. And I think we're going to see states flip that we never thought would flip to blue. We're going to at least see red states turn purple, purple states turn blue. We're going to see all kinds of, I think, overperformance going by these polls, and whatever. So just think, if that pisses me off to the extent that I get pissed off, I can only imagine what you women, how pissed off you are. And that's going to show up in the ballot box, Chad. That is definitely going to show up in the ballot box. Delta Don says, and all these pro-life men, I guarantee you, many of them have mistresses, wives, and daughters that most definitely have had abortions. Yeah, and how many mistresses have they had to pay for abortions for? Let's see. Tim Farrell says, "Be careful if you mess with Chad. You're messing with Kid Rock, Ted Nugent, Kevin Sorbo, Chachi." Yeah, some A-listers there. Chad thinks we're funny. Do we amuse you, Chad? Do we amuse you? Are we your clown, Chad? Are we your clowns? Carol Alana says, "I had to have a hysterectomy at 32 years old from extreme endometriosis. If I'd ever gotten pregnant, they said I would bleed to death. Uterus, had huge varicose veins, childless cat lady." Or is that dog lady? I guess I don't know. The little emoji is so dark I can't see it. But it's either cat or dog. Let's see, I'm just kind of skipping down here. Mad Max here. Hey, Mad Mac, good to see you. Mad Max says the 3 SCOTUS judges that rapist Trump chose were asked about Roe and promised under oath that they wouldn't touch it. It's stare decisis. Then they got to be SCOTUS judges, liars under oath. Yeah, and I did mention that earlier. They all lied. They all fucking lied. They should all be impeached. I believe they should all be impeached. Now, I know that's easier said than done. It takes a huge, thing to do that. But a guy can dream, can he? Delta Dawn says they want white people to procreate. That's what this was about. White population is dropping rapidly. It's white nationalism driving the anti-abortion movement. And they do think about that. They do think about that, Delta Dawn. You're right. Because I remember I was in a right-wing chat room. This is probably a couple years ago now. And they were talking about abortion, and now it should be, this is before Dobbs. And these were all basically, an all dude chat. I mean, there's probably some chicks in there. I mean, Jolie probably remembers when I used to go into Cool Frog. Cool Frog used to lurk on this channel. I don't think he does anymore, but usually if I bring up his name, it's almost like Beetlejuice. If I bring his name up, he'll pop in. But they were always talking about abortion and how they were like, they're pro-life, anti-abortionists, all that kind of stuff. And I think I just asked something like, why do you guys even care? I mean, it's not your body. Why do you want to? Why are you so? I forget how I worded the question. It's probably been over 2 years. But I said something like, why can't you just let a woman make her own choices? Why do you care why are you so passionate about this issue? Because they do seem to be passionate about it, kind of like Chad or whatever. I mean, because that's all they talk about, or they talk about a lot. There's other things they talk about, but they're always talking about abortion, how it should be banned, and how it's murder or whatever. And I'm like, it's not your body. Why do you care? And the response was always like, because and they actually said this. I think it was Cool Frog. They actually said this. Like, it's because we need more babies or something like that. It's because of the population, and we need to populate or something like that. It was something weird like that. I was like, are you kidding me? We have 8 billion people on the planet. I think we're doing fine. But I guess basically what he meant is we need white babies. I don't know. But that is the thing. That it's like it is about population, and it is about fearing that white people will be in the minority, which we already are now, I think. I don't think we're majority white anymore, and I don't give a fuck. I don't give one fuck about any of that shit. I don't give a fuck. I do not give a fuck. If whites are in the majority, I don't give a fuck if we're all a good mixture. I don't give a fuck. I don't spend my time going, oh my God, we're not in the majority anymore or whatever. I don't give a fuck. All I care about is having a good country that follows the Constitution. We have people that love the Constitution and love democracy. I don't give a fuck if you're purple or green. I don't give a fuck about any of that. And some of these people, that's all they fucking think about is white supremacy. I don't give a fuck about white supremacy. I just want us all to get along and love one another. Even the Chads of the world. You know? And just be good Americans. That's all I give a fuck about. I don't give a fuck what color you are. But these right-wingers, especially, these maggots and right-wingers, apparently that's one of the things that they lose sleep over. Whether or not there's enough white people in the fucking world. And I don't get it, man. But that has been the age-old thing, right? It's always been with us. This not just racism, but a supremacy of whatever it is. And I think it's always been the whites want to be supreme. And I don't mean all whites, because obviously I'm not one of them, but I mean, you know what I mean. It seems like it's always these white supremacists in whatever era, whatever continent, whether it was Europeans and now it's with here in America. I mean, it's just this worry about not being the dominant race or something. When really what we should be worried about is just being a good country, a good, hardworking, productive, constitutional, loving country. Andrew Peacher says, here, have one of my beers. I'd love to have one of your beers. Carol Alana says, yes, we women are pissed off to infinity. That's why maggots are losing their shit. And that's why Donald Trump is going to get his ass kicked. He's going to get his ass kicked in November. I think Kamala Harris is going to win by fucking 15 to 20 million votes in the popular vote. Jupiter Judy says, women will decide this vote due to the screw up of SCOTUS on so many issues. I agree. Gino Maynard says at Chad Bostic, you can drop the undecided BS. You're just another coward trying to obscure his bigotry. We see you. Yep. Chad Bostic says, I see I hurt some feelings. I'm switching to agreeable mode. If you can just turn it on like a switch, then that even shows me even more of a phony you are. Kimchi says, anyone can be stupid, anyone can be ignorant, but to sustain either of those mindsets, one must refuse to learn from one's mistake. Words of wisdom from Kimchi. Thank you very much. Namaste. Whatever. Fancy says, vote blue. Jupiter Judy says, mic drop at Kimchi. Kimchi says, Chad, you don't upset me. You make me weep for the collective ignorance of the United States. Mr. Spock, laughing out loud. Good Jimmy Fallon doing Goodfellas, Joe Pesci. Chad Bossa, Kimchi, ignorance and mistakes don't always come from refusal. They can stem from lack of access, opportunity, or awareness. Jupiter Judy says they're killing the women that they want to have kids. How stupid are they? That dumb. But there are women that are right there too with the, the anti-abortionist group. But those are mainly the evangelicals, right? Jupiter Judy says, in my opinion, only women should be obstetricians and gynecologists. I know, I kind of agree with that. I always thought it was kind of weird and creepy. And maybe, I'm sure there are great men gynecologists that, but you do hear there have been court cases where male gynecologists were actually raping women and on their examination table. It has happened, but I always thought it was a little weird and creepy. But maybe then I thought, well, maybe that's just me not being able to separate, the professionalism of a doctor from me, seeing a vagina in my face, or you know what I mean. I mean, so I kind of put that on me as being I'm the one who is at fault there or whatever for that thinking, and I'm sure most men gynecologists, I'm sure they're just very professional, and they don't have any ill will or anything like that in mind. But there is I'm sure some sort of percentage, but that even if they don't do anything, why do they get into that field or whatever? Yeah, I don't know. It's a whole thing, and so I think when you have a woman as a gynecologist, you can kind of rest a little more easy, I think. I don't know. Maybe I should shut my mouth before I fucking stick my foot anymore in my mouth or whatever. I don't know. But I do agree with Jupiter Judy to at least the sentiment of that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Fancy says, well, I'm not gonna read that because it's like part of a conversation. I don't know. I kind of skipped. Kimchi says, men are afraid if women get power, we will do to them what they did to us. Although holding a man down and forcing him to do what I say would be nice, locking him in a dungeon. We don't do that shit. Yeah, it's just this power trip, I guess. A lot of men are on just power trips. And I'm not. I'm really not, I don't think. Andrew Petrie, love is the answer. Ooh. Rob4419 says, people unfortunately can be manipulated. That's how Trump stole the election. They were manipulated and they were given misinformation and disinformation by Russian operatives. Rob4419, love makes the world go round. The world go round, the world go round. Jupiter Judy says, you're right, TJ. Also think of all the kids that Taylor Swift has gotten to sign up, mostly girls. Taylor Swift and now Billie Eilish. They have hundreds of millions of followers. We've seen voter registration just shoot up. Hopefully that will all translate into votes for Kamala Harris. And, like I always say, up and down the ticket. But Democrat all the way down. Jupiter Judy says, what the average age of a Swifter or Swiftie is like 42. Really? Richard Los Angeles Dodgers fan? Yes, Richard. Yes, Richard. Of course. Chad Bostic, we should all judge our wealth by how much love we have in our lives, in my opinion. We should judge our wealth. I guess I don't sit around thinking about that kind of stuff. You want to know the truth. But I do get it. I mean, yeah. What's more important, love or money? Diane Capobianco says that's what MAGA basically means too. Trump wants an only whites country. Fancy says, go Dodgers. Is Shohei Ohtani going to get that 50-50? I think he's been kind of stressing out of the plate. He's been striking out a lot lately. He got a stolen base, I guess, last night, right? So I think is he at 48-48, I think? It was about, what, 10 more games? I think he can do it. But I think he's maybe feeling some of the pressure of trying to get those last 2 home runs. I think the stolen bases, he can do that pretty easily. But he's been kind of, you can just see at the plate, he just looks a little like he's just kind of thinking about it too hard, maybe. I don't know. But I think he'll do it. Gina Maynard says 200 million whites, passing white. Clearly a majority of our 350 million people, and they are still scared. Yeah, there's a lot of them are scared. I'm a white dude, so I don't mean to say, that we're all the same. But that's probably why there's 340 million people in the country, and there's 350 million guns, and they're owned by isn't it like a third of the population owns all these 350 million guns? And not to say that black people don't own guns, and Mexican people or Latinos, brown people or whatever don't own guns, but I think probably the biggest group is probably these, and there are Democrats that own guns, white Democrats and everything that own guns, but I think the ones that are really like hoarding guns and building up armories and all that kind of shit are these right-wing extremists, because they're scared. Because it is kind of like what Jubber Judy was saying, or was it Kimchi was saying about women? Or I guess it was Kimchi, that men are afraid of women because they're afraid that women, if they got in power, would do to them what they've done to them or whatever. And it's kind of the same thing. There's these white crackers, these right wing extremists, these right wing racists. They're afraid that if people of color, black people specifically, get into power or something, that they're going to return the favor. They're going to do to them what they've been doing to the black people all these years. And really, I think that most people of all colors, I think most of us really just want to live together in harmony. We want to move on. And I think most black people want to move on. They want to move on to having families, raising families, getting their families out of poverty and getting into the middle class and having good careers and being able to have, some generational wealth and getting their kids into college. Maybe there's a lot of families, white families too, but I think I was the first one in my family to go to college, and that was just junior college. And I ended up going to a 4-year college for a little bit, but and now my kids are going to college and working on their degrees. So, and I think that's what everybody wants. That's what black families want, and Latino families want. They just want to do what's best for their families. and make a better life for their kids, and pass on a better life and a better world to their kids, and have that go on and on and on. That's what people want. I don't think people are bent on revenge for things that happened, throughout the decades in the past or whatever. But there are, I think, these white supremacists that are afraid of that. And that's why they want AR-15s, they want all this shit. Diane Capobianco says, Bianco says, the governor here in Florida, the Satan, is trying to mess with abortion amendment on the November ballots. He doesn't want it on there. Florida, please stop electing these weirdos. Stop electing the DeSantises and the Rick Scotts of the world. Please, I beg you. I beseech you. Jupiter Judy says, I'm lucky I was able to have a kid because of my endometriosis, which they took my uterus out when I was 42 after I begged them because of the pain I was in for 2 weeks out of every month. Yeah, there's so much stuff there, to worry about health-wise. It's not as easy and peasy as we sometimes think. Pregnancy and childbearing and all that stuff. Delta Dawn says, I don't care about any majority anything. That's what Project 2025 has a lot to do with. They are terrified of losing control of government and corporate law, and they benefit financially. Like I said, I agree, Delta Dawn. And like I said, I don't care about any of that shit. All I care about is people just being good Americans. And that doesn't require a color to be a good American. Richard said, Koufax and Drysdale are the best combination of pitchers for the Dodgers. They were awesome. They were very, 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 very awesome. Carol Olana says, TJ, look into the Dominionists and the Seven Mountains Project. Make this a Christo-fascist, white male-dominated country. Control everything. Barnett, who did Apprentice, is one of heads. They use brainwashing. Oh yeah, cults. They're cults. They're cultists, and they use brainwashing. Absolutely. And there is this Christo-fascist thing, and it's rampant. It's running rampant. But I think we can defeat it. I still think there's more of us than there are of them. And if we on the right side of things, which I mean by that that are for democracy and equality, I think there's more of us, and we need to stick together, and we need to all show up, and we need to exercise our right at the ballot box and show them at the ballot box, beat them at the ballot box. I'm just skipping down. Jim Farrell says, unless you can see the so-called evangelical women's vote, you don't know how they are voting. That's true. But I will say, and I didn't want to bring up this because I don't know, but I have a cousin, and she's married to he's also, he's like I don't know if he's Army Reserve or whatever, but he's a military guy. He's in the Army, and he's a chaplain. And also he's like an assistant pastor at their church. And their church is very, I think, kind of like Pentecostal type, holy roller type of deal. And I know, based on a lot of her posts, I know how she's voting. If she does vote. I mean, I don't even know, but I do know how she'll make comments like, I don't see how anyone could be in favor of abortion. I just don't see how people could be in favor of murdering children or something. She'll say shit like that. So I guess I'm basing too much of that on my one cousin. But then I've heard other things. I've heard similar things like that, about from these evangelical women. So I guess I'm just basing it on the few things that I've heard about like that, There's Richard watching from Australia, 3:43 a.m. There's Richard, our night owl in Australia. Thanks for being here, Richard, by the way, if I didn't say that earlier. Janelle Walker says, yeah, it makes you wonder, Trucker John. I guess we're talking about the gyno thing. That's how far back I am in the chat. I'm at least 10 minutes behind, huh? So I'm going to skip down a little bit. Richard says, Trump was quoted as saying he can grab a woman by her private parts anytime he wants. Yeah. I mean, that's why it was so shocking when he won in 2016. He was able to get away with saying that kind of shit. And women voted for him. And there were women that wore T-shirts that says he could grab me by the pussy anytime he wants. They were wearing T-shirts like that. These fucking weirdo maggot women. And I know they are in the minority. I know, most of you women did not think that was a very cool thing that Trump said, but these like someone said earlier, like it's a cult. They're a brainwashed cult. Some of these people, and they will wear T-shirts that say Trump can grab my pussy, and that's what else could explain that? But some sort of brainwashing going on. Something's crawling up the wall. Really? Was there something crawling up the wall? Look behind you. Oh, wow. Hopefully it didn't land in my hair. I don't see it. But that's kind of creepy. I guess it must have crawled away. That's kind of creepy. Now I'm scared. I'm scared of the bug. I'm not scared of I don't know, Donald Trump, but I am scared of the whatever was crawling up behind me. I don't know where it went. It's probably in my closet. It's probably in one of my shirts or something. Let's see. Carol Alana says Trump engages in neutral language programming, which is brainwashing technique used by cult leaders. And the way I think of him is just a car salesman or some type of salesman who just says whatever he needs to say to try to make a sell. He'll say anything. And truth is not. He's not going to let truth hold him up. He'll say anything if he thinks it's going to get a sale, and that's all he's trying to do is get sales. Like each vote is a sale, or something. It went in the closet. Oh, great. Now it's probably in one of my shirts or something. I didn't see it, Fancy. Ugh. Okay, well, I'll deal with it. I'll have to deal with that later. Rob, it escaped. Yeah, because if I had seen it, I would have crushed it. Nick Rich, I see a critter crawling down on the right side of the screen. Oh, it went down. I don't know. It says in the closet. I'll have to deal with it later. Richard says, I hope Trump runs in prison. Yeah, I think you say that every single show, Richard. But hey, that's fine. A lot of us probably share that sentiment. Gino Maynard says, I'm a black man that owns my grandfather's guns, my dad's guns, and my own. Yeah, like I say, you can be a gun owner, and like I said, there's black people, brown people, white people, everybody. There's Democrats that own guns, but I think that I guess the point I was making earlier that there's a lot of stockpiling going on by right wingers who I think are either they want to, they're afraid that if black people get into any kind of power, they're going to come after them, which is I think bullshit. And they also want to start a race war. And I'm talking about right-wing extremists. I'm not talking about all white people. I'm not talking about even all just right-wingers. I'm talking about there's a lot of right-wing, these nationalists, these right-wing, I can't talk, right-wing, the white supremacists, white supremacists. They want to start a race war. And that's why they get so upset if you mention anything about common sense gun safety laws, universal background checks, closing the gun show loopholes, all these type of things, magazine limitations, all that kind of stuff, bump stock bans, assault weapon bans. They don't like that shit because they want to start a race war and they want to be well armed for it. Richard said Harris absolutely destroyed Trump in the debate. Trump is a coward and does not want to do a second debate. I even made a little meme on that, if you guys saw that I had posted, I guess last week. Oh, I don't know why it's shaped like that. Ah! Anyhow, there's that. It kind of, I don't know why it's all stretched out like that, but yeah, I made that little meme. Trump is too chicken to debate Kamala again. And look, he looks like a chicken. That is AI, by the way. I don't know if I need to disclose that. That was made by IA. Wait, AI, or maybe it was IA. Whatever order it was, in whatever order. Yeah. So there, I made that one a while back. Here, maybe if I should move this over to the other side, and then we won't see the spiders come up. Maybe, I don't know. It seems like I kind of moved the whole rig there. Yeah, so there's that. And I do have my Boston Brian shirt on, if you didn't see that. Look at there. Blunt Politics. In case you were wondering. Carol Alana says the Dominionists have infiltrated everything scarily. They got a lot of money, power. We have more people. Yeah, they think they've infiltrated law enforcement, the military. That's Flynn, basically, right? Okay, so here's Mr. Spock. He's waited about 8 to 10 years. This is not, there's a time span there to tell this joke. Here it is. Here it is, folks. My ex finally asked me, "What are you thinking about?" I deadpan back, "If I wanted you to know what I was thinking, I'd be talking to you." Not good. But boom. For some reason, you guys think I'm a Care Bear. I don't know. TJ is definitely a Care Bear. Alrighty then. I do care. I do care. And I guess I'm a bear now. I don't know. Richard, I don't like spiders and snakes. I don't like spiders and snakes. Kimchi says, spiders eat bugs. I leave them alone unless they intrude my space. What was it? A spider? I don't even know what it was. Anyhow, now you guys have got me all. I'm all like, oh, hope it's not on my back or anything. I'm just scrolling down. I think this is way back when the spider. That's how far I am. That's how far behind I am in the chat. Still talking about the spider incident, which was 10 or 15 minutes ago. So I'm just scrolling on down. Richard said, Boston Brian, Trucker John, Hal Sparks, the Three Amigos. Have you guys ever watched that show on Netflix, Lock and Key? I just started watching it. I just finished season 1 yesterday, and I started season 2 last night. And I like it. I like that show. I don't know if you guys have seen it or not. But it's pretty interesting. Andrew Petrie at Trucker John, there's no spider. Okay. Richard says, Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spider-Man. So anyhow, I think I just caught up. So yeah, Donald Trump is chicken shit. And what else have we learned today? That Chad can really trigger me. Sorry, Chad. I think I was using you as an excuse to vent my anger about the abortion issue, about Dobbs specifically, about reversing Roe v. Wade, and about the dead women as a result of it that we're seeing, and about how this affects women's health care all across the board. I think it's a travesty. I think it's horrible. And I think for people to, and I'm not saying Chad specifically, but MAGA and even just so-called conservatives, they've always been this pro-life group. They call themselves pro-life, where basically they seem to really only care or give a damn about a person before they're born, and then once they're born, they're like, "All right, you're on your own. Hey, you better pick yourself up by those little tiny bootstraps," or something. It's very hypocritical. They don't want to really do anything that's gonna. I'm talking about right wingers and conservatives and Republicans in general. Over my adult voting life, what my experience is they don't really give a fuck about social safety nets, for instance. They don't give a fuck about trying to help people to better themselves, to get better educations or better job training, better skills, so that they can equip themselves in the real world and live healthy, productive lives. They really don't. The way I take it, they really don't give a shit about any of that. All they want to do is have power over other people and tell them, you can't do this, you can't do that. That's really what I think it comes down to. It is that power trip. Because at the end of the day, if a woman has an abortion, that's her personal choice. Should be her decision to make. And it doesn't affect me. It does not affect me, and it does not affect you. It does not affect the right-wing evangelical Christian women, because they are pro-life, they are anti-abortion. And if there's another woman somewhere else getting an abortion, it does not affect their life one fucking iota. What's an iota? Don't ask. Don't ask, don't tell. No. So it's just a power trip. It's a fucking power trip. And also, like we talked earlier about brainwashing, they go into these churches and they show films. I remember in the 80s, after Reagan was elected, that's one of the things that turned me off about church and one of the things that made me leave the church. They started showing these films in church, in the main chapel, about abortion and about how abortion was murdering all these babies and stuff. So you talk about indoctrination. And it's been going on for 50 years. So let's have a big Rovember in this November. Let's vote blue for all the things that are dear to you. All up and down the ticket. Vote for Democrats. Let's make America democratic again. Let's make America just a good place. Let's make America just a good, democratic, constitutional loving, people loving, getting along with everybody, loving everybody kind of country. Let's just make America not hateful. Let's make America not bigoted. Let's make America not prejudiced. Let's make America be the true melting pot that it's always supposed to have been. Let's make America one huge, giant, blended family. Now, I'm sorry if I was a little harsh on Chad earlier. I really am. But I don't really take back anything that I said. Like I said, I may have used Chad as a whipping boy or something, but anyhow, it's 2 hours, 11 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I'm going to be back on. It's a little later. We'll take a little break. We'll do a Hal Sparks pre-show warm-up if you guys want to join me at 3 p.m. Pacific time. We'll hang out. And just when Hal comes on, we'll go over to the Hal Sparks show. It's mandatory. If you guys come into that show, it's mandatory. You have to go over to Hal Sparks. I'm sorry. I know I might sound like I'm on a bit of a power trip, but that's the way it is. But I got to go. I've got a spider to kill, or at least do something with, in my closet, apparently. So I got to deal with that. But I'll be back on at 3 p.m. Pacific time. That's only, 3 hours and 45 minutes from now. I want to thank all of you for being here, even Chad. Thank you. And Chad, thank you for the, I know Chad did some super stickers, whatever they were, and I appreciate that. I appreciate every one of you for being here, for liking, subscribing, and sharing. It really helps a lot. We're at 3,360 some odd subscribers, a number that just not too long ago I thought I would never ever see on this channel. for good old Trucker John. I appreciate you guys so much for being here. You guys are awesome. Mad Max says, then we do the Trucker John convoy into Hal's. That's right, Mad Mac. We'll do the warm-up, and when Hal comes on, you guys, and that's also mandatory, by the way. That you go over to Hal and you say something like, to the words that this is a Trucker John convoy or Trucker John raid, and preferably wait till Hal comes on. I think that might be the best time to do that. When you see Hal, not during the countdown, but when Hal actually, his face comes on and he starts talking, maybe that's the best time to start doing the raid thing in the chat room. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but it is mandatory. It's mandatory that you go to Hal's and that you do the Trucker John convoy thingamajigger. Andrew Petrie says, Trucker John, sorry, brother, I didn't mean to trigger you. Did you trigger me? Was it you? Were you the one, Andrew? Are you the one? Anyhow, Jupiter Judy's spiders are nothing compared to, I think, possums. Mad Mac, I think you scared Mike H away again. Well, Mike H, like I said, he's a front runner phony. His name is Joel. His name's not even Mike, and so I don't give a fuck about him. I mean, I appreciate if he comes here, and sometimes I like the guy, but sometimes I don't. I don't know. And I guess it depends on what you say. I don't know. Fancy says, I put the trucks and say it. All right, so guys, I'll see you again at 3 p.m. Pacific time right here on this channel, on YouTube. I only do YouTube. I'm exclusive. This is exclusive. If you want to see Trucker John, it's going to be on YouTube. I was doing Twitch and Facebook, but I've had too many problems with them. And so for now, it's just going to be YouTube. YouTube exclusive. Andrew's wearing a Freedom Convoy shirt. Awesome. Chad Bosick, Mike H gives guys like me a bad name, and that's saying a lot. But anyhow, Chad, thanks for being here. Nick Rich, thank you for being here. Everybody else, thanks for being here. And hello. There we go. Hey. Sorry, it took me a minute to get in here. There's a spider. I was walking in, and there was a big ass spider, and I saw, scared the shit out of me. I am tough cookie, but me and spiders, we don't get along too good. And I saw the goddamn thing, and I don't have feet, as you might have noticed. So it was kind of hard for me. I got it though. I got the motherfucker. Oh yeah, I'm not going to tell you how, but I got him. Anyhow, just wanted to say a quick hello and goodbye. I'll see you guys at 3. That is provided I don't die of a spider bite between now and then. Jesus Christ, Trucker John, you ever hear of spraying insecticides or something? What the fuck? What kind of dump are you running here? Spider infested place? I might not ever come back again. Now I'm so, it shook me. I'm shook. Because, if there's one spider, there's going to be some more lurking around here. But anyhow, I just want to say hi real quick before we go. All right, look. Don't worry about the spiders. All right, Tough Cookie, don't worry about the spiders. I got it under control. What I do is I humanely, I use a little envelope or a piece of paper, and I kind of scoop them up, and I just put them right back out in the yard, okay? Yeah, and then they come right back in, you dipshit. You can't just scoop them up. You weirdo. They just come right. Do you think they don't know? They don't remember how to get back in? You gotta squash them. Okay, look, you do things the way you do things. I'm going to do things the way I do things. All right? So, like I say, I just scoop them up. I put them back out in the yard, and I tell them, I say, look, you belong outside. You don't belong inside. You're an outside spider, okay? And they seem to understand. I don't know. Maybe I'm delusional. I don't know. But I do, I have a little talking with them, and I say, look, inside is for people, and outside is for you guys. and we have an understanding. I think it's working. I don't know, but doggone it, I'm gonna try. I can't see just smushing something. I mean, that's not nice. It's not nice. It's just not nice. So I'm not gonna do it, Tough Cookie. I do it my way. You do it your way, and we'll see who wins at the end. I don't know what that means, but anyhow, guys, just want to say hello, and we're gonna get the spider thing under control. Don't worry, one way or the other, and it'll all work out. It'll all be good. All right, and hopefully we'll see you at 3 p.m. Pacific time. All right. All right, those guys, they're always fighting. They always are fighting. Just ignore them. They're always at it. They're always going at it. So anyhow, that's those guys. Okay, guys, I will see you at 3 p.m. Pacific time. Thank you so much for being here. You guys are awesome. Thanks for the likes, the subscribes, the shares. Thank you, Chad, for the we had the super stickers or super chats over there. Always appreciated. Gina Maynard, member for 4 months. Chad also gifted some memberships. Thank you so much for that, Chad. I do appreciate it. And just thank you all for being here. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Sharing is caring, by the way. Sharing is caring. I will see you at 3 p.m. Pacific time. And I'm probably going to be doing 3 hours of not only stretching my hammy, but also maybe doing some spider wrangling. I don't know. All right, I'll see you guys at 3.
Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. We'll have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes. Might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes. But if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid. But doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John live stream. No, this time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. Don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. Don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. We'll have some fun times, hopefully. Nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about gold chimes, but if we did, I'd be on to glad. So hasta la vista, baby, the show is over, but could I ask you, maybe, to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should've stopped a truck driver. Who am I trying to kid? At least when I was out there driving, I could handle the skid. Doing this live stream, baby, it's been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again, right here on the Trucker John live stream. We gonna do it again and again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream, this is where we win, right here on the Trucker John kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle the skid. Doing this live stream, baby, it's been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again, right here on the Trucker John live stream. We gonna do it again and again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream, this is where